AITA for not wanting my FIL around my child after he started making weird jokes? Let me start by saying that while I like my MIL, my FIL, and I have never been close. There was no reason for it, it just turned out that way. We never managed to have a long conversation, and if we were left alone in a room, it quickly became quiet and awkward. But I have never felt attacked by him in any way until this happened. Month ago I, 28M, gave birth to a daughter. My husband, 28M, and my parents were with me. My husband's parents didn't show up until the next day, they live in the next town, but when they finally showed up, my FIL made a joke about how we had to be careful because our daughter is so cute, someone might kidnap her. The first time it was quite funny and I laughed too, but during the same visit, he repeated the joke many more times, and each time it became weirder, more aggressive. Literally, at one point a nurse came in to see how I was doing, and when she was leaving my FIL said, "See, she looks like someone who steals babies." Then my husband's parents stayed with us. They are still here, and my FIL continued his jokes. I had to leave the house a few times, I just needed a walk, and my FIL suggested that he can come with me, which was nice because I didn't trust my body that much. But during our walks, every time I focused on something else, my FIL would just scream, "Watch out. They're stealing your daughter." No, my daughter wasn't even with us. Then he started doing it at home too. Whenever I was alone in a room doing something, he would just burst in shouting, "Kidnapper," or quickly, "Something bad is happening to your daughter." He did this several times while I was sleeping. I admit that I was fooled a few times. Finally, last Wednesday, something happened that was the final straw. My FIL and I were home alone with my daughter while MIL and husband went shopping. FIL burst into the bathroom while I was there and started screaming that he couldn't find my daughter. I rolled my eyes, but he really kept saying that this time this is not a joke. I haven't panicked yet. I calmly walked to my daughter's bedroom, but she wasn't there. Okay, no panic yet. I went to the kitchen. Nothing. The guest room. Nothing. The living room. Nothing. Mine and my husband's bedroom. Still nothing. I started panicking. I mean, I was practically crying right there, while my FIL, looking equally panicked, said he'd gone to the kitchen for a moment, and when he came back, my daughter was gone. We searched the house again. I admit I don't even remember all the details until MIL and my husband returned. Then it happened. My husband, after hearing everything, immediately said we had to call the police. My MIL started to take out her phone, but FIL started laughing.
Shed.
He took my daughter and locked her in the shed and garden. Fortunately, she was okay. In fact, she slept through the entire incident, only waking up and crying when we opened the door. How did my FIL justify it? He claimed it was a test and called me a terrible father for failing and panicked. Then, when he didn't get any positive responses, even from MIL, he started saying he was joking and that we don't know how to take a joke. My husband and MIL completely agree that my FIL should not be around my daughter, but what surprised me was the reaction of my father and sister. They and my mother also often come over to help, and they think I'm overreacting. My sister, who has 2 kids, finds all this hilarious and says I'm just pissed off because of hormones. My father, however, acts as if he doesn't understand the problem at all. He and FIL get along well, and after hearing what happened and that FIL was supposed to return to his city this Tuesday, my father asked, "What are you afraid of? That he'll actually steal your daughter?" And then said I should grow up. And I must emphasize here that yes, my father, sister, and I have a generally good relationship. That's why I'm starting to hesitate. My sister always seemed like the most rational person to me, and I was always happy to go to her with my problems, and my father never showed me such a lack of empathy.